we still don't have an answer as to what happened to Sandra Bland, who, if you don't know, was a 28-year-old African-American woman who was assaulted by a cop, arrested for a minor traffic violation, and then later died a couple days later in her jail cell. Now, since this case, there's now been 2 more cases wherein African-American women have died in police custody. Now, I'm going to go over both of those cases' details with you. So the first one, it was a woman named Ralkina Jones, who was a 37-year-old Cleveland woman and mother of 1. She died in police custody 2 days after being arrested. So now she was arrested originally due to a domestic dispute, and her sister, Renee Ashford Jones, she said this: "She was perfectly fine. She didn't complain of nothing. Nothing saying she was hurting or anything. She was fine. I just seen her. Then the next day they called and said she was dead in jail. They checked on her, but they won't tell us nothing." Now, at the time she was arrested, she did inform police officers that she does have several medical conditions, all of which require medication. But her sister contends that she was given all of the medication as directed. So one of the guards stated that she looked lethargic in one of the days that she was in jail, and she was then transported to a hospital to receive medical treatment and then back to jail because her vital signs were normal. Now, when the guards checked on her later that night, she was unresponsive, and Raw Story explains, "The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office performed an autopsy on Jones on Monday with spokesman Chris Harris stating there were no suspicious injuries to Jones's body and that further studies were needed to determine a cause of death." So really, it's an open question as to what happened to her. We have no idea. Now, moving on to the second case, the woman was named Raynette Turner. She was a 42-year-old New York woman and mother of 8. And she also died in police custody. Now, she was originally arrested for shoplifting, and she told police that she was not feeling well, so they took her to the hospital also to receive medical treatment, and she was treated for high blood pressure. And once they transported her back to her jail cell, she was later found dead in her cell. Now, her husband didn't find out until her scheduled arraignment, so he was kind of out of the loop for a few hours. Now, he says, quote, "No one said anything to me about my wife was downstairs dead. They just let me sit in the courtroom all day long, waiting for her to come and be seen by the judge. I'm not going to rest until I get some type of justice for my wife. That's the bottom line." So Ralkina Jones was the 4th, and now Raynette is the 5th African-American woman to die in police custody this month alone. So again, we can't necessarily make any assumptions. We don't know if there's foul play. They were both treated for medical conditions. We have no idea. But what's important is that we say their names, get their story out there, so that way if there is any foul play, hopefully any officers potentially involved in foul play will be brought to justice. But what matters, again, is just making sure that there's an investigation, there's an autopsy, and we uncover the truth because their families deserve to know. And it's just a little bit scary that 5 African-American women have died this month. Now, look, I'm not saying anything. I don't know the details. We all don't know the details. Their families don't know the details. But we've got to shine a light on it, and we've got to make sure that inmates are getting medical attention. We got to make sure that they're being treated properly. We got to make sure that they're monitored if they are having medical problems. So again, the whole point of this is not to make any assumptions, but just to shine a light on it.